Good evening and welcome to Green Canyon High School's graduation ceremonies for the graduating class of 2020. As administrators, we never would have guessed that we would be doing our graduation ceremony virtually through technology. An unprecedented end to this school year and some challenges we could hardly have imagined 6 months ago. The upside? Well, you should have a comfortable chair, popcorn, and drinks throughout the whole ceremony tonight. And you can invite all of your relatives to watch your graduation, even the ones that initially could not make the trip to Cache Valley. We want to congratulate you and thank you for being such wonderful students, for making Green Canyon a special place to work and learn. I hope everyone is dressed up and ready to yell and cheer during your virtual moment, and I hope that tonight is truly a memorable night for you and your family.
Wonder where the flag is. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
When I was in 10th grade, my two older brothers and closest friends joined the ultimate Frisbee team. I got so sick of hearing about Frisbee that I refused to ever play it. Well, almost a year later I did. But at my very first practice, my throws were awful. It seemed every time I tried to throw the disc, it went in the opposite direction. The coach even pulled me aside to work on them. I was humiliated and did not want to go back. I bet some of you have felt this way before, not wanting to try something because you didn't want to seem bad at it in front of everyone. Well, I decided then that if I was going to play Frisbee, I was going to be the best. I worked harder and got better. When it came time for the spring season, I made it onto the kill line. I finally felt like an asset, but the minute I did something wrong, I'd get so frustrated with myself. At a critical state game, our entire team wasn't playing well, but I felt like it was my fault we were losing. It was raining and the disc kept slipping out of my hands. All of my friends were watching me fail, so I put myself down every time I dropped the disc. Tears kept slipping out of my eyes, and I played even worse. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't help but get angry at myself when I played. So this last year, I decided to take the sports psychology class. What I learned dramatically changed how I thought about Frisbee and life. That class taught me that I needed to change how I think. A fixed mindset is the belief that abilities are set, and if you have to try hard at something, you shouldn't try at all. But a growth mindset is the belief that abilities are grown, and failure leads to improvement. I had a fixed mindset, I needed a growth one. We had different assignments in the class to help us achieve this mindset, but the one that helped me the most is the one that taught me what to focus on. Everyone picked a tip that would help them refocus. One of them was, after an error, breathe, clear your mind, shift your focus onto what you need to do next. When I read that, it kind of just clicked. After an error, I should breathe, clear my mind, and shift my focus onto what I need to do next. I started trying to do this and could soon see a difference in how I played. It used to be when I'd mess up, I'd remind myself of it. After tournaments, I'd go to bed purposely reliving every mistake. How could I drop the disc when it was right in my hands? I could have run faster, so why didn't I? If I had just thrown the disc better, we would have won. For the assignment, I started analyzing mistakes to see what went wrong and how I could fix it. And then, the most important part, I moved on. At night, I stopped mocking myself and started appreciating how far I've come. 3 months ago, I would have never been able to throw a disc 30 yards upfield, and sometimes I still can't, but I did that time. I learned it's okay to mess up or be bad at something, although I still have to constantly remind myself of it. At a tournament this January in California, there was one game in particular where I kept making poor passes. Embarrassed, I walked off after the point, pretty mad at myself, tears close to the surface. I sat down and took a deep breath. But instead of putting myself down, I thought about what the problem was, held the disc in my hands, and corrected it a few times. Then I cheered my team on for the rest of the point, focusing on the positive things they did. By the next point, I was excited to play again. Now, 3 years after hating Frisbee, I virtually stand before you today as one of Green Canyon's ultimate Frisbee Club presidents. These last couple years have taught me that we should come to accept our imperfections as opportunities for growth and improvement. Figuratively, I'm sure all of us have made a couple bad passes in our life or thrown the disc away too many times to count. We can choose to let those mistakes be defining moments or refocusing ones. The choice is up to us.
Today is about celebration, but starting tomorrow, each of us enter new arenas, unknown territory with new rules and new teammates. For the last 13 years, we've had our path laid out in front of us. We've tasted discomfort. We've explored new ventures and opportunities, but we've fallen again and again. But we've gotten up. Yeah, some of us have forgotten our speeches, missed a game-winning free throw, or failed a test we'd spent hours studying for. But we haven't really truly failed. These experiences have just taught us to keep getting up and to dare greatly. Sometimes we'll win, and sometimes we'll lose, but that's not what matters. What matters is that we stepped up to the podium, onto the court, field, or stage, and tried. Theodore Roosevelt boldly declared, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who at best knows, in the end, the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly." In all our moments of discomfort and vulnerability, there's been one thing in common. We've had the courage to try. I've come to know that even if we don't achieve the outcome we'd hope for, there's always something bigger and better that comes out of it. Let me tell you a story to illustrate this point. When I was in 7th grade, I went out for the junior high basketball team at Mueller Park Junior High. Now, my two older sisters were all-stars at this junior high. So when I came in, the coach was expecting nothing less than amazing. Her expectations were very high, to say the least. After a few games, she could see that I was not what my sisters were, and she was disappointed. Soon thereafter, my father pulled me aside and said, "Allie, you may want to find something else to do besides playing basketball." That was hard for me to hear, especially from him, someone whose opinion I valued so much. I was crushed. I liked playing basketball. I loved the competition and relationships that came with playing basketball. I wanted to be able to contribute to my team in a way unique to me, so I stuck with it. Let's fast forward. I'd like to say that this story ended with me becoming an all-state basketball player, us winning the state championship, and me getting multiple college offers to go play basketball. The reality is, none of that happened. In fact, I'm only a mediocre basketball player. But through the process of being in the arena, I learned so many lessons. I gained valuable relationships with teammates. I learned the importance of grit and giving your all until the end. I learned the importance of taking criticism and turning it into positivity. I learned the power of a team and that you're never in it alone. I now know what it feels like to work. I know what it feels like to have pain. But greatest of all, I've learned that the biggest triumphs come after the days you want to quit, the days when you literally have nothing left. For me, I learned that daring greatly came by staying in the arena, on the court or on the stage. Yeah, I didn't come out with full rides, scholarships, and state rings, but I have learned that when you put yourself out there, something good will always come out of it. So let me ask you this. What happens when you step into the arena? Would you still take that step even if you knew you were going to fail? Do you still enter even though you don't know the outcome? Will all the blood, sweat, and tears be worth it? Will the friendships, experiences, and memories that you make gain up for all that you felt like you had lost in the moment? Brene Brown said it best when she said, "Daring greatly is not about winning or losing. It's about courage." So as we all enter our new arenas filled with blood, sweat, tears, successes, and whatever else may come, let's remember to have courage and dare greatly.
As seniors in high school, we have a lot of pressure on us. Schoolwork, AP testing, and family commitments are just a few of these. But I think the worst pressure is the one that you put on yourself. For me, that pressure was finding what I was passionate about. I've been involved in lots of things in and out of high school, and yet even as much as I enjoy the things that I do, I could give up any, or even all of them, and I would be totally fine with it. I couldn't help but notice the stark contrast this made between myself and my peers. My friends all seemed to have something they truly cared about doing: art, softball, tennis, swim, debate, but I never had anything like this, and that led me to label myself rather harshly as passionless, and I grew jealous of the people I knew who did have a passion. My dad is one of these people. Every weekend in the winter, he wakes me up far too early to go skiing. I can vividly picture sitting next to him on the ski lift, and he turns to me with a delighted grin on his face and says, "You couldn't keep up with me if you tried." And he's right. I enjoy skiing, but it's completely different from the way he seems to thrive off of it. He comes back from a day on the mountain physically exhausted, but mentally rejuvenated. That's the part that made me so jealous. I wanted to find something that would make me that happy. So I decided to start looking. The only way I would find my passion was if I tried different things until I found it. One of these things was AP chemistry. I enjoyed regular chemistry and thought that learning about it more in depth might unlock a passion for it. I even chose chemistry as my major at the college I'm going to. Unfortunately, I was wrong, and I actually need to fix that. It's on my list. Another thing I tried was various contests with the FFA. It was when I was walking through the sagebrush in 90-degree heat, picking ticks off the people around me, while they did the same for me, that I decided this was not for me either. Despite these failed attempts at finding my passion, I have never doubted that it is out there somewhere. I just have to find it. And all the searching I have done to find it has actually given me a really good outlook on life. I love to try new things, and I make an effort to say yes to almost every opportunity that comes my way. Because of this, I have had chances to lead my peers, travel across the ocean, and try a lot of gross foods. But as I worked my way to the end of senior year, I was still calling myself passionless, until I came to a realization. How could I be passionless when I wasn't giving up on finding my passion? Previously, whenever I had thought of a passion, it was clearly defined and obvious. It was a noun: art, music, sports, whatever it may be. And it was these nouns that I was so jealous of, because for me, my passion wasn't a specific noun. My passion was the search for my passion. In this search, I learned a lot about putting myself out there and seizing every opportunity that comes my way. One day, when I do find my noun, I will gladly give it everything I have, but I will bring these lessons with me. So now I ask you, have you found your passion yet? Or are you still out there searching as hard as I am? Maybe your passion is a noun, and that's great. Maybe your passion is chasing the horizon, always looking for the next thing, and that's great too. I understand now that passion doesn't have a set definition. It can mean many things. But maybe most importantly, I realized that I can find happiness with my own form of passion. Thank you.
May the good Lord bless and keep you, whether near or far away. May you find that long-awaited golden day today. May your troubles all be small.
Hey, good evening, graduates. What a great opportunity it is for me to say a few words in this unique setting for graduation. Before I start, I'd like to thank our graduation committee, led by Mr. Randy Benyon, Mrs. Nan Kebby, Mr. Robert Hogan, Mr. Troy Oldham, and Mrs. Karen Tusher, who have made this ceremony happen, and also our senior class officers for planning all the events that have led up to this graduation. Also, I'd like to thank Demi Oldham, our student body historian, who has created our senior video and many other videos. I'd like to center my thoughts tonight on this year's theme that was created by our student body officers last year. The theme, Our Future is Clear 2020. I really enjoyed this theme. It was clever and it was catchy. When I break it down, 3 power words are present: future, clear, 2020. It reminds me of an experience that I read about. Someone asked Helen Keller, what's worse, having eyes that cannot see or ears that cannot hear? She paused and then in her wisdom said, the only thing worse than being blind is having eyes to see but have no vision. So speaking on vision, may I share with you an analogy from a habitude that was shared with our freshmen. Some of you may have heard this, and it's the windshield and rear view mirror habitude. When you drive a car, you have a windshield in front of you, and attached to that windshield is a small rear view mirror. The rear view mirror has benefits. It's important to look at it on occasions to see what's behind you or to glance at something that you may have missed. Now, the windshield is big and is in front of you. It allows you to see what's ahead of you and lets you see the dangers that may be ahead. It also lets you gaze and to see the beauty of the landscapes, horizons, vistas, and the future of where you're heading. Sometimes people gaze and not glance in the rearview mirror too long and drift into danger, as opposed to the windshield where we need to focus and to give us direction. The windshield gives us a foresight. The rearview mirror gives us hindsight. Both are important, but one fits the theme more than the other, the windshield. The windshield is what we need to focus our 2020 vision on. It lets us see more clearly our future destination. We've been hit with a pandemic that no one would have imagined 6 months ago or even 3 months ago. You, as seniors, had a pretty clear vision of seeing yourself finishing your senior year in traditional ways. You, as seniors, had visions of finishing your high school by participating in spring activities and sports, third trimester grades, scholarships, college credits, senior week, yearbook signing, Lagoon Day, and finishing with the traditional senioritis. I feel bad for those missed experiences for you, but as I've observed the class of 2020 this year, you have an overall sense of resiliency. You have an overall sense of grit. You have kept the momentum of our school culture. You've etched some strong and positive memories in my mind that will be hard to erase, which I thank you for. As you make this important transition, may I suggest to you to have more foresight than hindsight. Keep your eyes directed at the windshield that's in front of you. May I leave with you a quote by Tim Elmore, CEO of Growing Leaders. Everyone focuses on something, the past or the future. Where does your energy come from? When dreams are bigger than our memories, we gain energy from the hope that lies ahead. Often we must let go of the comfort from our past to make progress. Where do you get your energy? The past or the future? Refuse to live in the past. Always be positive in the present. And like Helen Keller, she always maintained vision regardless of her unprecedented circumstance. Always keep your dreams and futures focused on the windshield in front of you. On behalf of the administration and faculty, you have been an outstanding class, the class of 2020. We have experienced something unprecedented, but more importantly, something kind of special. We love you and we wish you all the success in the world. Your focus is clear, 2020 graduates. Thank you.
Pick up 5. You want to say something real pretty?
Yeah.
Yeah, here you go.
This isn't real. It's all in my head. I can feel it. I'm imagining this. Can I wake up from the stream all over? Fall back to sleep, please. Fall
me. Just across the bar, my seat's been taken by some sunglasses, asking about a scar. And I know I gave it to you months ago. I know you're trying to forget, but between the drinks and subtle things, the holes in my apologies, you know, I'm trying hard to take it.
You wanna mix? Why don't you stop mixing right now? Say I mix,
I'll carry you home tonight. We are young, so let's set the world on fire.
We can burn brighter.
I wish somebody would've told me, babe, that someday these will be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. Someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of these good old days.
I was thinking about the band, I was thinking about the fans. We were underground, loading merch in that 12-passenger van, in a small club in Minnesota, and the snow outside of First Ave. I just wanted my name in a star. Now look at where we at, still growing up, still growing up. I would lay in my bed and dream about what I've become. Couldn't wait to get older, couldn't wait to be some. Now that I'm here, wishing I was still young.
Woke up staring at this empty room. Looked at 1,000 different pictures that your mother took of you. You see, I had this crazy dream last night. This man, he talked to me, and he told me everything that's good and bad about my history. He said, you are the future. He said, you are the future. The future looks good. Future looks good.
Jake Foley! Jake Foley! Jake Foley!
No, now call me anytime and every time you're losing it. No, and tell me anyone and everyone who makes you feel like shit. Because you know anybody, everybody else can lie. But honey, I won't see you if you see future
1,000 different pictures that your mother took of you.
Students, congratulations! Way to go! We are so proud of your accomplishments. Last Saturday, I went on a mountain bike ride up Temple Fork in Logan Canyon to Old Ephraim's grave. While riding, I came across a beaver dam. I couldn't help but think how amazing and hardworking this beaver is in making this dam. Like the beaver, as you go forward in life, meet life's challenges. Remember to work hard and hustle every day. And as Dave always says, be nice and most of all, be positive in the present. Now, on to the presentation of you as graduates to the school board. It is now my privilege as the assistant principal of Green Canyon High School to certify and present to you, the Cache County School Board, that the graduating class of 2020 from Green Canyon High School has met all the requirements as stated by the Cache County Board of Education and the Utah State Board of Education. Mrs. Terry Rhodes, the students in the graduating class of 2020 are now ready to be certified as Green Canyon High School and Cache County School District graduates. Thank you.
Principal Swenson, on behalf of my associates on the Cache County Board of Education and through the power vested in the board by the state of Utah, I accept these candidates who have finished all the requirements for graduation and will bestow upon them a high school diploma with all the rights, duties, and privileges pertaining thereto. Go class of 2020.
Hey seniors, congratulations on graduating. This isn't the end, this is just the beginning. So everybody, take your tassel and move it with me. You're now graduated. Congratulations.
Our valley home neath the mountain strong will remain within my heart. The silver and green are colors blue, holding memories that never will part. Green canyon high, the friends we've made are true. And in all we've learned and in all we've shared, the strength of the pack shines through. With courage strong and with knowledge right, when united we will win the fight. Together strong and brave and true, we are loyal through and through. Green canyon high, the friends we made are true. And in all we've learned and in all we've shared, the strength of the pack is you.
Give us a second. We need to our great. Our friends are in their bedrooms. And sleeping. Too late for homework is waiting for us. 200 emails saying that our grades are dropping by the minute. Ask us if we care, and we know we did on it. Okay, TJ has set in between the games and senior things. We won't make any apologies, and you know that senior year is winding down. Don't worry, because we are young. So let's set the world on fire. We can burn brighter than the sun. Tonight we are young. So let's set the world on fire. And burn The time. The years. Ending. And senior year is winding down. Don't forget GC.